everybody. Welcome to Crescent Coast in the Kitchen. We are so happy that you're joining us tonight. We're going to be sharing some of our favorite recipes for you to use in case you're celebrating Valentine's at home this year. Valentine's 2020 was very different than Valentine's 2021. It's a different day and age. But anyway, I'll be sharing my coco vin. It's actually something that I've made for quite a number of years now. It sounds fancy, it's not, it's just chicken and wine. And then we're gonna have a really decorative, beautiful presentation of a caprese salad that April is gonna share with us, and Miss Megan is sharing her simple brownies, and they're likely to be the star of the show tonight. So again, thank you for joining us here in the Myrtle Beach area. Again, we started this because of COVID. This is our silver lining. This is one of the things that we're grateful to COVID for, because instead of just having 20 people at our house every now and again for a party, we can have all of you, every month for a party. That's what this is. So tonight, our guest is David Coy. He is the owner of Coastal Vino, which is an amazing gourmet wine shop in the Market Common on Irish Street. And we'll also talk to you a bit about the market tonight, the real estate market. So just stick with us. Miss Megan is first with her brownies because we can't wait for this chocolate.
Yes. All right, so it's a really simple recipe, but it's really good. So what it is, it's cookie dough layered at the bottom, and then you top Oreos on top of that, and then you pour brownie batter over that. So it's all the desserts in one. So I already pre-made my cookie dough and brownie batter. I just use good old Betty Crocker. But if you have your own recipes, feel free to use those. But I just go for the OG girl. So you just want to pour that in there and grease your pan. I like to use a glass because it's a lot easier to see, because the brownies sometimes do cook a lot faster since they are at the bottom. So you can kind of keep an eye on that and make sure that they're not burning. So kind of just push it out and make sure it's nice and leveled.
Was that just like a roll of cookie dough? I didn't see it.
No, it was like the bag of like the Betty Crocker one.
Oh,
that
okay.
you...
I got you.
So I still made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that counts. You want a spoon to scrape?
Yes, please. Get sticky.
We've been wanting to eat that cookie batter. You're lucky to see
I did
this.
eat the cookies.
She tasted it, make sure it was
I had
good.
to make sure it was good.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure your ingredients are, edible before you put it together.
That's right. Hey, that's a Julia Child trick, right? You taste as you go along.
That's right.
Well, now they make like the little like cookie doughs you can eat, like already
edibles,
made.
Yeah.
So, but it's not the same as making it and then eating it out of your.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Yeah. All right.
I've tried chickpea cookie dough. Also not the same.
Chickpea?
Yeah, it's better the next day.
Oh, okay.
But it's not. I mean, if you just get out of your head that you're eating chickpea, it's not a bad alternative. But
Well, I guess it's gluten-free, vegan.
But it's not that.
It's not.
You got to go in with the right expectations.
Yeah. All right.
All right. America's favorite cookie.
So layer that cookie dough at the bottom. Make sure it's nice and even. And then stack your Oreos, and you want to push it in a little bit so that they don't float to the top with that brownie batter.
Man, that's easy.
It's super easy.
Is that regular Oreo?
Yeah,
Milk
regular
stuff?
Oreo. Yeah, you could use whatever. The fun thing about this recipe is that there's so many different options
Yeah.
you can do. You can use peanut butter cookies or
M&Ms.
M&M. Yeah, literally anything. Different Oreo flavors. There's a billion Oreo flavors now.
That is true. You could totally mix it up
And
with the
even
same recipe.
Yeah, and even like the brownie batter too. Like you use dark chocolate. You can use, chocolate chip.
Double
Whichever.
kind of brownie batters.
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
Yeah.
There are a couple of big fans of peanut butter desserts in my house right now.
Yeah,
So.
peanut butter is good. Alright, I've seen recipes too. You could put like Reese's cups in here instead of Oreos. Like you could really play around with it.
In case the Oreo, the cookie dough,
And she just
brownies
broke
are
the
enough.
cookie. She just broke that Oreo right in half to fit it.
Yeah, make sure every bite has it.
That's right.
It has the Oreos in
You can
it.
imagine the disappointment.
No, you can't see it. So does the Oreo get a little soggy in there?
Not really. It gets soft
Yeah,
for sure, but
right.
it's not
Soft is good. I like it to be soft. I can't eat an Oreo plain. I have to dunk it in milk to soften them up.
I break it apart and I scrape the frosting out with my bottom teeth, and then I eat the chocolate cookie.
Really?
Yes.
There's so many ways.
I'm a dunker for sure.
No.
They made like Oreo dunkers. Did you see them? They're made just for Oreos. It's funny.
Supposedly everybody has their own way of eating an
Eat
Oreo.
Yeah. So here is the Oreos layered at the top.
That's good.
Yep. And then you just pour that brownie batter on top. I just grabbed some milk chocolate. I've noticed if you use the chocolate chip ones, just be careful because they do cook a little bit longer because they're a little bit more fudgy. So because the bottom does burn sometimes. Like you have to watch the cookie dough, make sure that it's cooking evenly. And so with the brownies with the chips in it, it kind of gets a little harder to cook, I guess. But
Yeah.
you can play around with it. I'm sure if you use different like degrees and how long you cook it, you could
Yeah.
make it work.
Keep an eye on
You just
it.
gotta watch it. That's why I like the glass pan, so you can pull it out and make sure the brownies aren't burning, or the cookie dough at the bottom.
That's a good idea because you can see it.
Yeah. Maybe some left over.
Looks so
Grateful
good.
to look out of the bowl.
Yes.
Oh, here you go.
All right.
Looks so good.
So once that's even, pop that bad boy in the oven, 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes, but definitely watch it, make sure it's not burning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So see all the layers.
Oh, can't wait.
It definitely earns its name.
Yeah,
Simple
simple brownies.
Yeah.
Probably move it up.
Oh, just go ahead. What do you want?
Move it up a little so it's not too close to the bottom. You know?
Right there. That's what these are. Awesome.
She's
Well,
moving the rack up. The rack is too far down. She's moving it up so the cookie dough doesn't cook too fast.
and I had the rack way low because I actually had my Dutch oven in there. So we just have one oven in this kitchen. You know, I don't know how we're gonna deal with one oven. I don't know. Well, while she is putting her brownies in the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the coq au vin. So that's just coq is chicken in French, au is in, and vin is wine. So chicken and wine. And this is a special one. I'm showing you the Julia Child version. I'm gonna grab that cookbook for me right there. So I just want to show everybody. This is what I taught myself to cook with in my 20s. The cover is gone. It is Julia Child's way to cook. If you like to teach yourself to cook by reading, this is it. It has all the different methods in it. And this recipe comes directly out of this book. Thank you, Julia. So the first thing, well, let me get this pot heated up over here. I love my iron skillet. It's a large iron skillet. Probably cost me $12 about 25 years ago when it's going strong.
They're unbreakable.
They're unbreakable and they're so heavy. They brown things super, super well. And even my pasta carbonara comes out better in this pan. Everything comes out better in this pan. You can put it right in the oven. So we're going to start, you can use pancetta, which is just uncured Italian bacon, but I have bacon in my refrigerator, always. So I just have some chopped bacon in here. It's just about a third of a cup or so. It's 2 big strips of bacon that I've cut. And so we're going to go ahead and sizzle up this bacon in here, render the fat out of it, and that's part of what we're going to brown the chicken in. Okay, and then the next thing we're gonna do, and Julie was a stickler, and she was right, because I've tried to cut this corner. You absolutely, positively must take a paper towel and dry your chicken. If you do not do that, it will not brown. So I saved this step specifically to show you. I could have done it ahead of time, but I didn't. So this visual is important. You know, I've had Ian Garten and several other magnificent chefs on television say dry your meat, but they never show it. And I think the visual just brings it home. You must do this. You just throw the paper towel away. It's just not a big deal.
Yeah. Otherwise it just steams and it gets...
Yeah, exactly. It just steams. It doesn't brown. And then just easy as that, you just throw it away. All good. And go ahead. This is some salt and pepper in here. It's you know, half as much pepper as it is salt. I do it ahead of time so I don't have to stick my chickeny fingers. I don't get my chickeny fingers all over the pepper mill or the salt, you know, my little salt pot that I use. And we're gonna have to wait for the bacon to kind of fry up. And as we do that, we wanted to share a little bit with you about the real estate market right now. It is a very unique real estate environment. It's definitely what we call a seller's market. So maybe we'll just each say a little bit about that. So April, how would you describe a seller's market?
I'm not trying to be insensitive when I say this, but a friend of mine who's also a realtor, she posted a meme the other day that said, someone asked her what the real estate market is like, and the answer was, do you remember what it was like trying to buy toilet paper last March?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's like right now in real estate. If the houses are priced well, they're selling very quickly. An example of that is a house we just sold and listed, Crescent Coastal Real Estate Experts, sold in a day for the ask price, and then another client of ours bought a house within a couple days on the market, and both multiple offer situations, and that's just what's happening right now if your house is priced competitively. So it's not the same market it was before the market crashed, which I think is healthy. It's the prices are still moderate, and they have to be, otherwise, you know, you won't get that appraisal. So you can't go crazy, but if your house shows well, if you've done the maintenance to it, the buyers are still picky, I'd say. You know what I mean?
They're still sensitive
Yeah.
to condition.
Mhm.
So you need to have it very clean. You need to have it deep. Yeah, normally we have longer before our camera turns off. Remember, we're amateurs here. There's nothing rehearsed. We're just using our regular personal equipment. So, and buyers, like, don't get discouraged. As long as you're ready, you have your pre-approval from your lender ready to go to be submitted with your offer. You go in, if the house you want is priced similarly to other houses that are the same size and general location, go ahead and make your full price offer, have your pre-approval. And another thing that you can use to negotiate that makes a difference to sellers is how long until closing, whether or not you have another house that you need to sell first. Are you a cash buyer? So the easier it is to get to closing, like if you're a cash buyer with no other property that you need to sell, you're also buying it as is, with no other contingencies on condition or anything, your offer will be accepted ahead of someone else who let's say their purchase is contingent upon the sale of their own home, or they have to get a mortgage. Don't let that scare you if you need a mortgage. Most people need a mortgage. But I'm just talking about it's not just price, it's also condition and contingencies. Oh, hey David, why don't you come on up?
You want me to come up?
Yeah. It's a little earlier than I told you, but. So David Coy's gonna come up, he's gonna join us. And he's gonna tell us a couple things. So, my first question for
This
David.
looks good already.
Reintroduce him one
Okay.
about Coastal
Oh, I'm
Vino.
sorry. This is David Coy. He is the owner of Coastal Vino in the Market Common on Iris Street. He has a long and illustrious career in the wine industry. Everything from buying to distribution, and now owning his own store. He's lived in Europe. He's lived all over the country. He's highly versed in wine. He's truly not only a wine aficionado, but a wine expert. I'm going to need to turn this down a little bit. Okay.
Well, thank you, Wayne. That's, I don't know if I deserved all that, but thank
Oh, he
you.
does.
I prefer the food instead of the wine. What happened to my wine? Oh, here it is.
What happened? So my first question for David tonight was, if someone is not from a wine drinking family, like I didn't come from a wine drinking family. One side of my family were teetotalers, the other ones would have an occasional beer. But so if you have a new wine drinker who's interested in wine, where should they start?
Well, you know, it's, first of all, they should come to my shop.
Yeah, he'll coach you.
I've been very fortunate in Myrtle Beach. We've had, I have over 500 customers to shop, 500 families to shop at Coastal Vino, so we've been very fortunate. And we've had
I'm gonna,
people from very novice wine drinkers to wine aficionados and experts. And I have a lot of people that come in and tell me about how they feel about my wine. So I think if you're a beginner wine person, first of all, you have to buy what you like. And the only way to do that is go to different tastings, to go to different events and try different wines from around the world and for the United States. There's some things that before COVID, I was doing tastings at my store, and I would have maybe 60 to 100 people a day come to my store on a Friday and Saturday.
not all at once, they
No,
cycled it up.
no.
And pause right there.
Yes.
I'm gonna remove, the bacon is fried up, it's crispy, I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna put it in this bowl, in this heat-proof bowl. And just stay here with me, David.
I'm not going anywhere.
No, go ahead.
No, there's bacon.
Okay, and so now, so I have the bacon grease in this pan. It's very flavorful. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna add two tablespoons of butter and even a little bit of olive oil to make a flavorful combination to brown the chicken in. And as David talks, I'm gonna get this butter melted. I'm gonna put the chicken in the pan. Another Julia Child commandment is never crowd your pan. So I've got 10 pieces of chicken here, a mixture of white meat and dark meat. I'm gonna brown them 5 pieces at a time, because if you crowd your pan, again, your meat won't brown, it'll just steam. So go ahead, so wine tasting.
That is good advice, especially for me. Anyway, so where do you start? You start at different tastings, go to your favorite wine store, ask different questions, at least for people that know about wine. But right now in America, there's this gigantic increase in wine sales because of COVID. I have customers every day that used to buy their wines at what I call the big box stores, and they still do. And if they want something inexpensive and affordable that they consume every day, and if they're happy with that, then so be it. But what I try to do, I try to sell people a higher quality, small estate vineyard that is incredible for the money and kind of over delivers for the money. So that's what we're doing at Coastal Vino. Today, actually for beginners to start out, I always suggest a lighter red, like a Grenache or a Pinot Noir, or even a light Merlot. You can go to a Sangiovese from Italy, which is one of my favorite grapes. And there's different degrees of what I call fruit and weight to each wine. As far as white wine's concerned, you can't go wrong with a semi-fruity wine if you're a new wine drinker. Wines from New Zealand, from Australia, even California in the Sauvignon Blanc range.
What does semi-fruity mean, David?
Semi-fruity is something that's in between dry and sweet.
Okay.
So, in my definition, a semi-fruity may be different than yours. Lane and her husband shop in my store all the time, and I've got to know Lane and Dean through my store and what their palate and their wines they like. Lane likes a great Chardonnay or a great white wine that's not very, very dry, but just a touch bit of fruit. And when I mean just a touch bit of fruit, that's all I mean. Nothing overly fruity. Sometimes you can go buy these really fruity Sauvignon Blancs and fruity Chardonnays that to me are just too sweety. But, and Dean likes the Cabernets and the Sangioveses and the heavier red wines, as well as Lane does
Yeah,
too.
so I love Dave's point, because this is something that's unique in his store versus a big box. Is that as the proprietor, he does know his customers personally, and he does get to know your taste, and he can help you. And if you're a brand new wine drinker, he'll do what he just said he would, like start you with a young fruity wine. And if don't even drink wine yet, you're not even sure what that means. All right, so our second question is, if you're an experienced wine drinker and you know you like wine, what do you consider one of the best kept secrets?
Well, I think, and please, I used to work in the Napa Valley area, and I used to work in the American wine market for a long time. But take this the right way. I love Italian wines and Spanish wines. In both areas, I'm kind of partial to, not only because I've done a lot of travel and I used to live there for a short time, is these wines are made natural. They handpick the grapes. They treat the vineyards like their own children. Take very good care of the vineyards. And something that I experienced years ago, there was when they have a bad vintage in Italy or Spain, most of the good producers will not make that wine. So the vintage is very important. And that's what I try to do at Coastal Vino. Coastal Vino, I try to bring in a wine that over-delivers for the money. And that's what it's all about. You can go to all these big box stores, and they're going to suggest this national brand and this national brand, but you're really overpaying for it. Because think of it in these terms. You're paying for a Camus or a top-end wine from California. You're paying for a lot of their marketing money. They build money into the cost of their wine for marketing. So what happens when you see these national brands, the quality of juice, it's just like the quality of meat, the quality of different foods, the quality of chicken. There's different degrees, and in wine it's the same way. So we have different qualities of level of juice. You can buy Pinot Noir, for instance, in California for $500 a barrel, which is fairly inexpensive. But you can also buy Pinot Noir in California for $5,000 a barrel, which is very high expensive. So what I'm featuring today is a Pinot Noir. Actually, I like Pinot Noir, but it has to be really good Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
So every wine I bring in, I taste in my store. And this is called Lola Pinot Noir. This is from the North Coast. This is from a kind of a, what I call a rock star winemaker. He's a handsome guy, and he's has long hair, and he's a cool guy.
North coast of where?
North Coast of San Francisco.
Okay. San Francisco
Yeah.
area.
So this is a Pinot Noir. It's called Lola, and this is kind of what I call, if you want something that has a lot of class to it, a lot of good quality to it, but yet you want something that's not overbearing, not overly tannic or over dry, then I suggest a Pinot Noir to start with.
That's awesome. And that's actually, thank you, David. I really appreciate it. And so I told David that I was going to be cooking with a Pinot Noir tonight. So like you want a light fruity red with a Coq au vin. And I would say that, so what I just heard, and this was a best kept secret for me, I was completely unaware of that, is like when, with the big winemakers, you actually get a lower quality wine for the price because they're building in the cost of the marketing. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna let me taste it? Awesome.
Yeah, of course.
Check out the color. It's a little more brown, which means it has a little more age on it.
Yeah, this wine, this Lola Pinot Noir, is aged in French oak for a Pinot Noir a long time, actually for 12
Oh,
months.
that's lovely.
Yes.
It's got a little more depth and character than a Pinot Noir normally does.
Absolutely.
Pinot Noirs are pretty light.
Thank you.
Well,
I guess he's spot on. I just started drinking red wine.
Yeah.
I'm, you know this about me.
Yes.
That I typically just drink sweet stuff, but this is the first red wine I found that I like.
Well, there you go.
So he's right on about new wine drinkers liking this. It's true.
Yeah, perfect.
So
Well,
I-
you covered everybody tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Salute. Thank you.
Salute.
Thank you.
All right. So thanks, David.
Anyway, thank you.
We're taking back
and
over.
we'll see you all again.
Yes, sir. You know it. Well, we're going to see them for our client appreciation party that you guys are all invited to. And that is going to be, it's March 20th, right? Saturday, March 20th, and it'll be on Irish Street. And we'll have tents. It's an indoor outdoor event. You'll hear more about that later. So as this chicken browns, I'm putting it in my big, heavy cast iron Dutch oven. Sometimes I'll put this in the oven to cook the coq au vin, but you can cook it on top of the stove. So I'm getting ready to put in the second batch to brown. And that brown is really important because it imparts flavor as a whole, flavor layer. So, we have the bacon in here already, the bacon, and you can use pancetta. and we have butter, and we have olive oil. And now we're gonna have the brown that's on the chicken. And you just have to, just keep it, just keep an eye on it that it doesn't burn, but you also want to brown it enough. And once it kind of gets that crispy brown on it, like it'll be kind of sticky, thank you. I'll keep that, but yeah, it'll get where you can easily move it. You know how when you first put meat
You're
to
not
the
supposed to
fry
move it
and
for a
stick,
little bit.
you're not supposed to move it for a little bit. So let it sit for a minute until it moves easily.
It lets you know when it's ready.
Yeah. So, I mean, our theme tonight is Valentine's Day at home. But, we've lived in the Grand Strand for a while, and some restaurants have opened back up, and maybe if they're not open right now, this week they will be. But we're talking about restaurants that we've enjoyed in this area for Valentine's before. And so, Megan, what was you have for suggestions?
Yeah, Bistro 90. It's off 90 towards Little River, and all that. They're like a really good Italian restaurant. They have like steak. I'm from up north, so good Italian food.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they actually, pretty sure the owner ships water from New York and all that to make their food.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So they're really good. It's really sweet. Like the owner walks around and talks to you, make sure your food's good. I just like that about certain restaurants.
Yeah, well, it's very personal.
Yeah, it is very personal, and they seem to really care about their customers, and the food's really good. So they have pizza.
That's important for pizza to have the water.
Yep. So the pizza's really good. Italian food, steak, seafood, all that. It's really good.
And and I want to point this out to you. Notice she said Little River. So you know how we talked to you before about how it's like the greater Myrtle Beach area. Like we go all the way up to the North Carolina line. So you've got Little River and Cherry Grove. And so, and tell us one or two of your favorites.
I like restaurants all over, but a couple in Pawleys in particular. I'll do the south side. When I first moved to Myrtle Beach, I started in the South Strand, south side of Myrtle Beach. It's, you can call it a lot of different things, but Pawleys, Litchfield, Merle's Inlet. So of course Frank's Outback is wonderful. That's one of Lane's favorites.
Yeah, we're there all the time, like weekly, because they have. Well, you can be outside. You can have something outside.
Yeah.
They have
Tide
heaters.
Blossom.
Oh, love Tide
They have
Blossom.
heaters up front.
Yeah, they have the heaters or the fans in the summer.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. And that Bistro 217 is very
So
romantic.
wonderful. They also own Rustic Table, which is
Yeah.
a little bit more casual. So yeah, there's so many good mom and pop places all over, but in Pawleys I think especially. Less chains there, I feel like.
Yeah. So what we're mentioning tonight, these are not chains. They are privately, they're locally owned. And so and then I'll bring up Villa Romano. And that's in Myrtle Beach. That's like right in the middle of Myrtle Beach. And that was actually the restaurant that my husband took me right when we started, right after we started dating. We started dating like the last week of January. He took me to Villa Romano for that Valentine's Day. And it's very romantic. Well, they have someone walk around and play the violin. And they'll play it at the table. And I can vouch for the authenticity of their Italian food merely because, like, I'm not Italian, but my husband is of Italian origin. His family has always made homemade gnocchi for holidays, and as people kind of moved on with their lives, they're not doing the homemade gnocchi anymore. Villa Romano, that's the only place they will go, and they will order. Bye, Dave. Thank you so much.
Bye.
That's the only place that they will get their gnocchi from, and they'll order the gnocchi for their holidays from Villa Romano. And then there's a new one that's owned by our mayor, so 44th and King, and went there for the first time the other day. Delicious.
Was it good?
It was fantastic.
One of their waiters or bartenders' wives makes the homemade hummingbird cake there, and it is the best hummingbird. It's a hummingbird cake that's like really thick and moist. Oh my gosh, it's to die for. So be
Tell
sure
them,
to go check
it's a
that out.
southern thing. Tell them what a hummingbird cake is.
I don't really know. You tell me. I just know it's silly. It's not made of hummingbirds.
No, we're not cooking our
But I don't
hummingbirds on
remember
here.
what all's in it.
Is it white? I don't know.
Yeah, it's white. I have to Google. I can't remember.
I've never made one, and
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't either. It seems daunting. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what it is. But you should Google it it for us and see what it is. Okay, she's doing it now. Thank you.
We have help behind the scenes. We have, there's got to be somebody to eat this dinner, when we finish up. So, and this chicken is about done browning, and I'll put it to, it's just, prep is essential, so you don't get exhausted and overwhelmed. So just prep your stuff. If you want to cook this for your sweetheart on Valentine's Day, go ahead and cut your bacon and chop your bit of tomato and even chop your garlic.
Because you don't want garlic fingers on Valentine's.
No, that's true. Of course, I don't know. I think my husband likes garlic enough. Well, he might like garlic fingers.
Garlic fingers take forever to get rid of.
That's true.
You might like it while you're cooking it, but like the next day, you don't still want to smell garlic fingers.
the onions.
They're still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the rest of this chicken is going in here, in this big heavy pot.
You find out? What is it?
Hummingbird cake is a super moist cake made with mashed potatoes, pineapple, and chopped pecan.
Oh my god.
It sounds very unlikely, but it's wonderful. I don't know how it
Mashed bananas.
Oh, bananas.
So mashed bananas, pineapple. I saw mashed and I said potatoes.
It does have fruit in it.
Said that it's known to be so sweet to attract hummingbirds.
Okay.
Got it.
Nice.
Mashed bananas.
Mashed
pineapple.
bananas. All right.
Okay.
Pineapple and what else? Walnuts.
Chopped pecan.
Pecans.
Top.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because pecans are. We just have some in.
Oh, it's
this
so
myself.
good. Yeah.
All right, so I've just got a little bit of the oil and all the drippings in here. And so I like to go ahead and put, it's about 1/3 of a cup of tomato. I mean, you can chop a tomato. This is just a canned Italian tomato. And I like to go ahead and put the garlic in to just cook off the raw. And then I have a bay leaf and a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. It's nice to just give your herbs a sizzle at the beginning because it helps release the flavor of dried herbs, especially. Okay, and so now I shall put this flavorful concoction.
Nancy, is our sound still cutting out? Will you let us know? She said it was cutting out a few minutes ago. So
Uh-oh,
let's see.
we might have to get it like.
It was 16 minutes ago, so maybe that was when it cut out on us.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hope so. We're not having problems now. All right, just don't burn yourself.
Yeah, it's very heavy.
Mhm.
That's how you get your weights in.
That's right. So now we have all this flavor in this pot. And you're like, well, where's the wine? Well, here's the wine. It's actually just a half bottle. I usually use a Pinot Noir because it's that light fruity red like David was talking about. You can use a Chianti. It has the same characteristics. Don't use cooking wine, please.
No.
I don't think, do they even sell that anymore?
Yes, they still sell it.
They should.
Sherry, cooking
Should be illegal.
wine.
And then I have my own homemade chicken broth, which is why it's dark, but you can use boxed broth if you want. And you're just getting enough liquid in there. You don't want to completely cover your chicken. You just want it to come barely to the top of your chicken because it's going to, you don't want it to boil. You want it to braise. And this is one of those situations where if I try to tip the pot, you're not going to be able to see it. But go ahead and put your bacon back in. And this will just all simmer together.
Smells good.
Yeah, okay. And then, so this is going to, this is so hot. I'm going to
What is
put
it?
this
Help
right
me?
here. I'm just going to put this right here. And
You
then,
should show it.
yeah, so what, well, not really. What I'm
Okay.
going to do is I'm just going to let this simmer. But I'm going to take one that I have almost all the way made so you can see me finish it.
It smells good.
Mm-hmm. So after that has simmered for a half an hour, what you'll do is you'll just saute some mushrooms and some baby onions. Where did those go? Okay. Yeah. So also in the iron skillet, while you have it, it's all seasoned with the oil and whatnot. I just saute up some of these little baby onions. These I got at Lowe's and I did peel them. but you can buy them in the frozen section too. Just thaw them out and give them a pat before you fry them up. And then I'll put I have enough of these for both dishes. So when your chicken dish is almost done, when it's 20 minutes away from being done, you put in your browned baby onions. And this is what makes it coq au vin versus just chicken and red wine. If you get Julia Child's book, she has her chicken and red wine. And the method is the same, but this is just a little fancier because she does the little baby onions instead of sliced onions. And then you also saute some quartered mushrooms, also in that butter and olive oil mixture.
What kind of mushrooms?
They're just button
White
mushrooms.
button, okay.
Yeah, just white button mushrooms. Because by the time you saute them in that
flavor.
the butter, yeah. And I did add more butter to the pan for the onions and the mushrooms. So I'll just put half these mushrooms in there. Like I said, you do it about 20 minutes before, because what's going to happen is as you cook this chicken the last 20 minutes, it'll finish cooking the mushrooms and the onions, and it'll cook down the broth. All right then, let's see what I have this heat on.
That looks so good.
Smells really good.
Yeah, we're gonna eat well tonight. I never know like what this electric stove is on. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna let this simmer, and while this simmers down, April is going to make that gorgeous salad.
Yeah, I like the bracelet salad. All right, let me pull it over here. I think you can see it over here. Should I do it over there? I'll do it over there so you can see it.
Okay, yeah, wherever we can see better.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
see.
isn't that a gorgeous
pretty.
tray? Actually, turn it around, because we can just see the tomato. Yeah,
Oh,
turn it all the way
sure.
around.
All right, so we don't really have to cook anything. So this
Yeah.
is for
Yeah.
you folks that maybe ordered takeout for Valentine's Day, but you want to do something fancy still at home.
Yeah.
So you can drink some wine and hang out in the kitchen together maybe for a second. So this is just going to be a caprese salad. You got your mozzarella. These are mozzarella logs. I just got them at Publix. This is basil. Got that at the fresh market. You just get them in those little plastic containers. If you have your own basil plant, that's awesome. Take them right off of there. And then just tomatoes. You just want to be sure they're nice and red. Don't get any that are not all the way ripe. And then some balsamic drizzle. You can make or glaze. You can make your own balsamic glaze if you want, but just for purposes of this show to be easy tonight, this is from the fresh market. This is actually really good. And you don't have to wait on it to cool back down to room temperature. So this is just a thickened balsamic vinegar that they reduce down to make a glaze. Same thing that you'd make at home. It's just a little shortcut. And I use this on a lot of stuff, so I usually just keep some on hand so I don't have to make it. And then just a little bit of pepper to taste, and you can salt it too if you want to. But basically all we have to do is assemble this and put it together. So I'll just show you a couple, and then we can talk and I can finish it up. But what you want to do is just, the whole goal is to make this look pretty. So I'm actually going to move this.
You want another cutting board?
Yeah, sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
You can never have too many cutting boards.
No, you really can't. Alright, so you just want to cut these tomatoes and just however you like. If you don't like big thick slices of tomato, then don't cut big thick slices of tomato, but I like big thick cut pieces. It looks pretty. So I just kind of cut off the ends. You can put the other ends of tomato in like a stock or something, or make it for something else later. You don't have to necessarily waste it, but you just want nice pretty slices for your salad. So just pick the big tomatoes, bless you. Just pick the big nice red tomatoes for your slices of salad. And what we'll do from here is we'll lay those down just like that. A couple more. I think sometimes people can get overwhelmed with Valentine's Day or try to do too much, or
Yeah.
you know, this is something easy that someone can do. Maybe this and the brownies if they're overwhelmed by your cook event, even though it is really easy as you've
It's a
shown.
lot. Yeah, it's only.
It can be a lot to prep. If you're new at cooking, it can be overwhelming. So you could just, have someone, you could share, like maybe have someone bring in part of the meal and then you do the salad and the dessert or something. So try to make it more fun. Okay, so then leaves of basil, depending on what your taste is for basil. Like I called the girls earlier and I was like, do y'all like large leaves of basil? Because I love basil, but I don't know that I love it so much to eat an entire leaf, but we're gonna go for it because they like it and I want them to like it. But if you are not sure that you like giant leaves of basil, which is beautiful in the salad, you can always buy the basil paste. They sell it over by the herbs. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, the little squeezy tube.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It's sweet. And you could just maybe put a little bit of that right over the tomato, and that would be less harsh than this whole leaf if you were worried that that might be too strong for you. But I think all of us here will be just fine.
We love basil.
Yeah. Alright, so we're just going to lay some of those down so it looks nice and pretty. And this would be really fun to do together,
Yeah, this is projecty. I mean, not me want.
And you can do it with your kids.
I was going to
Yeah.
say you
Yep.
can do it with your kids. I mean,
Yep.
a lot of us have our kids at home, So
Alright, the most fun part is you're going to take your mozzarella logs. And I got logs, if it's not a lot of people, we got a lot of people eating dinner here tonight, so I bought logs so I could get a lot of parts out of my mozzarella. But if it's just a couple people, you could just get a couple balls of mozzarella and it'll be just fine. But again, cut it based on how much mozzarella you want. I'm going to cut, fairly thick pieces, maybe like half an inch or so. And I'm just going to cut a few of those.
Good.
there we go.
I'm
We're
just
back.
flattening out those mozzarella slices. You can buy mozzarella already sliced, but I didn't know if I trusted it or not, so I just bought some unsliced. And this is just a cookie cutter. It's a heart shape for Valentine's Day, and then you just cut your mozzarella out, and you make a little heart shape, and then you just put it right on top. And that makes your caprese salad Valentine. So it's very cute for Valentine's Day.
Hey Cindy, I'm glad you're signed on. She actually came to us through a link through email.
Nice.
And hey Nancy.
Oh, we got lots of comments.
Yeah, look at that. That's so cool. I didn't know if people that came through the link would be able to comment, and they can. I'm still so excited. We're just learning. Hey Portia.
All right, so I'm just cutting out those little hearts. With that.
So you want me to look and respond to comments?
Oh, sure.
Close the tab.
All right. So let me just do a few more here. So do y'all have plans for Valentine's Day? Do you know what you're doing?
Well,
Oh, you know what? Somewhere we forgot that
What?
Megan's been before, and she really loved was Gulfstream,
Oh, yeah.
and that was in Rose Inlet. That's a very
yeah.
romantic spot for Valentine's Day.
yeah. Dean and I have nice memories of Gulfstream too. We didn't do Valentine's Day there, but well, this year is like the most awesome one of the most awesome Valentine's Day ever. My husband and I are getting on a plane to go see our adult children and our grandchild
Awesome.
in Utah. We're gonna be on a ski vacation. We just got our own house, and so it's just our family. That's all that's there, and it's a resort that's not very crowded. So it's gonna be a wonderful family time. We're really looking forward to it.
Much needed.
What are you and Donnie doing?
I don't know. I'm sure he's got something planned. He's a planner. He likes to
Okay.
plan. So he won't tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, he won't. He'll just,
Surprise you? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he likes to do that kind of thing, which is fun, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't
Hey,
know.
Megan, I'm catching you while you're busy, but do you need anything? No, you got it.
No, I'm good.
What, do you and Casey have any plans?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get dinner. I'm not sure where yet.
Okay.
Probably somewhere in Rose Inlet since they have really good
Yeah.
restaurants.
Oh, we need to try Costa.
Yeah, Costa.
Yeah, they look good.
All right, so couple last steps here. So we've got the little heart shape mozzarella's cut out, and then after this, you just gotta add the balsamic glaze.
Isn't that gorgeous?
As much as you want. I like a lot, so I'm gonna put a lot.
Yeah. Oh, we're eating well tonight.
Mm-hmm. And then you want to put a little black pepper. Y'all like black pepper?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little black
Yep.
pepper. I don't know how your pepper shaker works.
Just twist it.
Oh, on the top. Okay, it's a little different than that. And then just a little black pepper on the top. And then you've got your pretty little Valentine's Day easy as pie, easy as caprese salad.
That is gorgeous.
caprese
We gotta
salad.
get it where she, all right, I think this is no longer hot. So let's move that.
Oh gosh,
We don't.
it's slippery.
I know. Right off. There you
It's
go.
okay, we'll
Like,
still eat it.
It is not, no. We'll just put it back there. Yeah. That's okay.
And that was what would happen on Valentine's Day.
Be
Now
careful.
you're warm.
The mozzarella is really good.
I just wanted to show them.
No, this is
No.
looking great.
That's fine. We can be reassembled, and that's the beauty of it.
It's super
Reassembled and
easy.
squeeze some more balsamic. So I don't know if any of you noticed what I was doing. So there's something called, you don't have to know what it's called, you don't have to say it, but it's beurre manier. But what it is butter and flour worked with your hands. I actually use a spoon. But it's equal parts softened butter and flour, and this is what you're gonna use to thicken the
It's kind
sauce.
of like a fancy version of a roux.
Yeah, well, it's an uncooked roux.
Right.
Because a roux is when you cook, like you melt the butter and then you cook the flour. And I don't know why, but, well, it's French technique.
Mhm.
So Julia Child has you do the beurre manier. So it's,
Or like a, I mean a slur, like a
slurry.
Yeah, but not water. You just
Right.
throw it in there, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's butter and flour. That
Yeah.
looks good.
yeah.
That looks better than like a cornstarch slur.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
favorite.
There's something called, like you could do cornstarch and water, and that's called a slurry, and that'll thicken it
slurry.
too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this
So
is
that'll
just,
dissolve in there.
it'll dissolve in there. But you want to, we put the baby onions and the mushrooms in there about 10 minutes ago. And so, and we want to cook a total of another 20 minutes. So I just put this beurre manier in there when it has another 10 minutes, and this will just thicken it up and make it so gorgeous.
It looks really good.
You know what we have to do? We have to do drawing.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Thank you so much for everyone who shared. Definitely always put done in our comments or even text
That
me,
looks delicious.
because we saw we got a lot more shares than we did comments, and Facebook will not let us see who did the shares. Like we can see when you
We
put
can see the
something.
number, but not
We can
who
see the
shared.
number but not who, but we can see everything in comments. So if you just put done, then we'll get your name. All right, so who's gonna draw?
Megan's gonna draw.
Megan's gonna draw. Oh, thank you. And Tammy Dodosky won last time, and she's been enjoying her apron, but she's a little shy about posting a photo. But I sent it to her in Texas. Holly DeFrancisco. Oh, Holly, I'm so glad you
So
won one.
excited.
Holly's one of my favorite clients ever. She's a doll baby, and she loves to cook. We were supposed to have cookie baking session together, Miss Holly. We still have to do that.
She's
But I
probably
will
our
be-
most
I know where you
prolific
live.
liker.
I help you buy that house, so I'll be sending you your apron.
Congrats, Holly.
Yeah.
And Tammy.
Yeah, all right, so the Cocoa Man makes a wonderful, delicious, scrumptious sauce. And so about half the time I serve this with mashed potatoes. Yes, you can put the chicken with the sauce, but and that's good, but you want something to really put that sauce over to really enjoy the sauce. Tonight, just for ease, so we don't have one more dish to make, I'm using ancini di pepe. All that is a little tiny pasta. I'll grab it, I'll see how much you can see what it is. I used to be able to buy it in the grocery store, and I'm wondering if that's because I used to live in a more urban area. But this is they look like just tiny little pellets. They cook up all nice and tender, and because they're teeny, and you can do this with orzo pasta too. It's really nice to put the coq au vin over. But we won't. I'll make the ancini di pepe after we turn off the camera, so you'll just have to forgive me. So, yeah. But I
Same
promise.
pasta instructions.
It's the same.
And we'll post pictures later.
Yeah, we'll post photos later. And I want them.
Put it in a bowl.
I wonder. It probably needs another minute to
Okay.
cook down. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Are you wanting to show it?
Yeah.
Get one of those bowls, the big bowls, Megan. Open the one on the right.
Well, you know what I might do? I think I can pick the
See
whole
those?
thing up and
those-
tilt it a
Yeah,
little
one of
bit.
those.
Let me do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll still be able to see
Okay.
that one.
Where's our white one? Oh, right here.
What do you think about that, Lane?
Would you like me to take the camera instead of?
Lane,
Okay.
Just,
look at what Megan did.
it's okay.
Okay,
Okay. I
Yeah.
kind of don't.
can see
they-
that, yeah.
Yeah, they can see it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that way it's like just bubbling away, because I actually wanted to
See that
bubble away for
broth?
another 5 minutes before I played it. So don't rush your sauce, let it thicken.
Gosh, it smells amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
See, we
that.
couldn't have done that if you had a gas oven.
Yeah.
It would've caught on fire.
No, yeah, I guess so, that's why I went So, just kind of a little bit more about the market. We're actually really lucky here in South Carolina. There's many market forces in real estate. So in South Carolina, we've kind of been the undiscovered coast for a while. It just has been much more of a local market, and so like local people coming here, and we were a little bit longer in getting infrastructure here, so that has kept our prices down.
Yeah.
So in South Carolina, we're the lowest price beach real estate in the country. Last year, in 2020, South Carolina was the #2 move-to state in the country. New Jersey was #1. Well, now people in New Jersey are starting to move down here, we know, because they're our clients. So we're anticipating, the economists are saying that South Carolina is going to be the #1 move-to state in 2021. So this is kind of my point.
I mean, Charleston's already on the top of so many lists, so Myrtle Beach has to be next. 'cause
Yeah,
Charleston's
yeah.
getting so crowded.
Because Charleston their prices are probably double
Oh, yeah.
or triple.
Yeah.
They're at least double ours.
You can't find anything under 300.
No, there's not. No, things start no matter how small at 300,000 in Charleston. Here you can still get something really nice for 200. But the point is, the time is now. It's spring, and it's spring here. I know you guys some of you are in other parts of the country, and you're having blizzards now. We've just had kind of a lot of rain. We have like a similar front. We've had a lot of rain, but I had my sliding glass doors open today, and the birds were chirping. So, but our spring market has started. If you've been thinking about buying in South Carolina, if you're anywhere near close, do it. The interest rates are not going to get any lower, and the prices here are only going to go up. And there's the press of demand. So it's not just housing stock, that housing is going up. It's like more people are moving here, and it's a great place to live.
Right.
So anyhow, I think we are about, I don't know, what do you want to share with us? I know you're kind of doing the rest of your little hearts over
Yeah.
there.
I do think it's important to note, like, the land east of 17 is pretty much built up. So those are just resales for the most part, especially north of, Merle's Inlet. So like
Yeah.
Grand Dunes, there's only a couple neighborhoods left. So,
Yeah. Cipriano Park is still building.
and the Cape and
Yeah.
Living Dunes, but other than that, there's like Oceans right there at 67, whatever that neighborhood is. It's really cute going up. I think it's 67. There's a few neighborhoods still going up, but I mean, in a few years that'll all be built up. So now's the best time if you want something new construction, if you want to make those custom changes yourself, something that has your mark on it. Otherwise, you'll be remodeling or just moving into something already built, which is okay too. But if you're looking to build, now is definitely the time. If you
Yeah.
want to be on East Side 17.
They're not making any more land. And we don't have, a whole lot of land compared to other places anyway, because of our waterways. Our
Yeah.
waterways and marshes, and that's what makes this area so, inviting.
Right,
Really
right.
beautiful.
Well, this is fun.
I know, this
Alright.
was fun.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys, and we will see you in March. So I hope you have a great Valentine's Day. If you want, post some photos of what you guys do. We'd love to see.